So these are the 8 most common types of sensual touch that people do in sex, which you need to stop doing right now if you want to arouse your partner. Over my 20 years of giving couples workshops in my capacity as a sex teacher, I have seen that people use mostly one or all of these 8 types of sensual touch, none of which are a good idea, and I will explain to you exactly why. This demonstration is for education only, to show how to treat each other's bodies with love and meaningful connection. The demonstration is shown on a woman's body. However, the same touch applies to both men and women, and this video is intended for both women and men to learn from. So when people do sensual touch in the sexual context, they normally do this kind of thing, the light fingertip brushing on the surface of the skin. This is not a great sexual touch. You can sort of get by with it with quite a few people, but it misses a lot of qualities that give touch real sexual power. It misses a lot of that warm wrapping around contact that can send deep sexual feeling into the body of your partner and make them feel like you're really loving erotically their shapes and their curves, which is arousing to them. It just gives a surface pleasant sensation. And it's also more difficult for the giver to really get into enjoying the lover's body, enjoying the erotic shapes and the curves and loving them. So some people, probably the minority, may experience strong sexual arousal from it. That's not to be discounted. But for a lot of people, this kind of surface brushing on the skin creates a pleasant sensation, which is not the same as sexually arousing. We can feel pleasure on the skin from touch, in the same way as we can feel pleasure from the wind or warm sand. It's pleasant, but that's different from getting a sexual feeling from the touch, like it's really turning you on. And a lot of people will just resort to doing this kind of touch or to receiving it because they just don't know what else can be done. Importantly, for a lot of people, this kind of touch is actually not nice. It will feel pleasant for the first couple of minutes, but then it is really overstimulating for the nervous system and it gets the person wired in their skin. It becomes irritating and the whole body becomes wired and irritated. This is quite a common effect that I've seen, but a lot of lovers will not tell their partners that this touch is irritating. They will just go along with it or they will try to avoid it because they feel awkward telling them that. So it can be very arousing for some people. For a lot of people, it'll be just pleasant, but not that arousing. And for a lot of people, it should be avoided because it's going to be annoying. So altogether okay, but not a great sexual touch. Also note that you can do the same kind of touch with the whole hand as well. You might not even notice it. But if you're moving on the surface of the body too superficially, then you will end up doing the same kind of light brushing with your whole hand. Another very common mistake is to do heavy touch, pressing into the body. If your touch is too heavy, you will be overriding the pleasure. The body will feel mainly pressure. And in the case of women, for example, whose bodies are often a lot more delicate, especially if you're getting more towards grabbing and squeezing, for a lot of women this can even become uncomfortable, almost painful. Another very common mistake is hectic, frantic touch, moving all over the body everywhere really fast. This is a massive overload. The body just can't follow this. The body reads touch slowly to feel it, so it will soon get numb to it and it will amount to pretty much no feeling. Also consider that your touch is actually giving a message. This is how you speak to your partner in sex. So some people do this kind of comforting stroking for a sensual touch. This can feel comforting, maybe even a bit infantile. It's not sexy, it's not communicating desire. Another very common mistake that people fall into is a very repetitive, monotonous touch, just doing the same thing over and over. It's very easy for your partner to completely switch off because it's almost communicating you're on autopilot, you're not present, you're not exploring and enjoying. Your partner's body essentially gets offended by your lack of presence and it shuts down. It doesn't like that. It can also be quite hypnotic and basically put your lover to sleep. You get the same effect if your touch is very regular. Very predictable, moving in the same direction, steady intervals, the same distances, steady speed. So it also puts the body to sleep and it feels quite boring and tedious to your partner. Another thing that people do sometimes is forcing passion in your touch, trying to show how passionate you are, often leading to a squeezy, grabby kind of touch. This has to be super skillful, and if you're not very skillful at this, then it can feel rough and uncomfortable and maybe even painful, so don't do that. Be calm and sensual. And last but not least, giving your partner a massage. Now, women especially often ask for a massage because they simply don't get touched. This is the only thing they can get. But a massage is a therapy. Your therapist is not meant to arouse you. This touch is designed to relax a patient and put them to sleep. Women in particular often ask for a massage because they can't relax, they can't get out of their head, but a really good sexual touch will do the same job, but also will be sexual and arousing. So, what is left, you might ask? How do you do a good sexual touch? Well, I have a totally free tutorial for you on how to give really good arousing sexual touch to your lover with a comprehensive map of where to touch on the body. It is a video tutorial that I use for my students in both of my online courses, Perfect Lover for Men and Holistic Sex for men, women and couples. So I'm giving to you this video tutorial from my courses right now for free. You can get it via the link below this video, but it is only a temporary offer. So if you watch this video in the future when it is older, that offer might not already be available. I'm sorry.